Good evening, everybody. Sponge Daddy and Freddy coming at you tonight from the Hawks area. From the bed. It's been one of those days. I seriously, serious knee problems today. So just decided to take it easy and enjoy some time with the family in here. Just peace and quiet. Loving on my fur babies and all that. Yes, I love you too, buddy. All right. This is counting my blessings and naming them one by one. Those of you new to this series, this is me giving thanks for everything in my life, one day at a time. So this is day number 22 out of what I hope to be 365. Okay. So what is my blessing I'm talking about tonight? Well, when I was 4 years old, my parents took me to Cypress Lanes in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. They bowled in a league, and they went bowling, and they took me along and got me started. And I started league bowling at age 4. And I remember at the time, on the weekends, they always had professional bowling on the television. I remember watching this guy named first it was Dick Weber, and then also Earl Anthony. Watching these guys bowl. And I was like, what's going on? Professional bowlers. What does that mean? Well, they bowl and win money. I was like, you mean you can get paid to do this? And I fell in love with bowling when I was 4 years old. I really did. I finished that first season with a whopping average of 43, but back then they didn't have gutter bumpers, so that was pretty good. But I remember thinking, wow, these guys get paid to play a game. So I was always a dream I'd had, and I followed that all the way through high school, and then I got off to college, and then well, y'all know my health took a serious downturn, and everything just went kind of down from there. But in 1997, I got out of the hospital, and I was like, you know what? I made a bucket list, and one of the things I made a list of things, including like bowling a perfect game. But in the back of my mind was always that childhood dream, And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try. I found out what the qualifications were. Back then it took 2 years of winter leagues, which is, I think, 33 weeks, averaging 200 or better. And now, keep in mind, I just had several surgeries, so I had to start out by lifting soup cans, Denny Moore stew cans, actually. And I built my arms back up, and my first year back in bowling, average was a big 150 something. So I adapted my style to match my disability. I went from the aggressive style, power style that I used to have to a smooth, more precision type bowling. And while I wasn't as good as I wanted to be, I stuck with it. And I got a one night a week gig DJing at the bowling alley, so I got to practice for free. And that was why I did it. And I practiced every day I was healthy. And it normally takes 2 years, like I said. It took me 7. And I'll never forget coming down to the wire that last of the second qualifying season. And I had 3 weeks left to go, and my health was really taking a nosedive, and I really was afraid I wasn't going to make it because I was right on the edge. And that's when Ultimate Warrior called me for the first time and gave me one hell of a pep talk. And so needless to say, I qualified. And of course now, bowling professionally is a whole lot different than just league bowling or even, casual bowling, as we call it. They use a different type of lane condition, so it's much, much harder. My first tournament, boy, did I get the biggest slice of humble pie ever. And I found out it tastes better washed down with vanilla and sugar. I mean, I had other handicaps, okay, like, you're limited. You don't really get breaks after games. If you have to go to the restroom, well, you really don't have time. So, or you only have a few seconds. And having Crohn's disease, that was a real handicap. So I was like, okay, I just won't eat. So that made it even harder. I'm not making excuses here. Look, I knew what my talent level was. I didn't get where I was because of talent. I got there because I just loved the game so very much. And I wasn't out there to win a single dime. I was out there to prove a point. Because I had told a couple people early on, and they laughed at me. They literally laughed at me or told me I would never have a chance. And it wasn't about... They never understood. My enemy, my opponent was not the pins, and it certainly was not the other players. The other players I met through the Professional Bowlers Association were amazing men. It was about defeating my disability, and I did it. And I went to a major tournament in Indianapolis, and I went to some regionals. I looked to my left and my right, and I'm bowling next to some of the big names in the game, like Brian Himmler and Dave Dontremont. And all through practice, you're doing pretty good, and all of a sudden the scorekeeper kicks in, and it's for real. And I'll never forget, tears welled up in my eyes. And I looked to my left, I looked to my right, and all I could think of was, man, I love this game. My bowling days are over. I admit, I accept that now. And that's okay. Because I did what everybody, so many, said I could not do. And I made it. So now there's a lot of you out there that are friends of mine, especially you Kyle Rogers, that have a multitude of talent and haven't taken the big step yet. I don't know if it's because you're afraid to fail or what. You shouldn't let fear of failure ever stop you. Because you don't want to be 30-something years old and have your health go away or whatever and say, God, I wish I would have tried. Because you will regret it the rest of your days. Regret's an emotion for fools. It's a dangerous emotion. So it's a waste. So don't ever set yourself up. If you've got a dream, dream big and dare to dream. And I was blessed that my Creator gave me the opportunities I had to make it at least one time and bowl the few tournaments I did. And all of you, my bowling friends out there, I love you all dearly. And remember, bad times are inevitable. Music is optional. Just refuse to be miserable. And soar above the ordinary with the spirit of the hawk. Many blessings and be well.